What's up, boxing land? It's been a while since I did a video. Um, you know, I'm coming to the point where I'm getting disgusted with boxing, and I'm starting not to give a shit about the sport anymore. So bad that I'm starting not to even be a fan of my used to be favorite fighter, Mayweather. There's been 2 canceled fights so far this year. The first one was Danny Garcia against Zab. I thought it was bullshit, but it turns out to be true. Danny did have a legitimate injury to his rib. What was funny about that though was DeMarcus Corley was the sparring partner where Danny got injured. And Chop went on air and said that it was Danny's thumb, when in fact it was Danny's rib. I heard that Danny hit Corley hard, I guess the round before sparring, and Corley came back and hit him with a hard body shot and bruised Danny's rib, to which he posted a picture on Twitter. They knew this a week before it was announced, but that was canceled. It was legitimate. It sucked. Then Devon Alexander was supposed to fight Kell Brook, and Devon supposedly injured his bicep, only to find out days later that Mayweather tweeted and posted on Facebook that Devon may be his future opponent, that they've almost reached a deal. And you know, this sucks for Kell Brook, who had a contract to fight Devon Alexander, and it sucks for boxing, period. You know, people should honor their contracts, you know. And good thing the IBF came out and said that they will not support you know, that they won't Devon Alexander have to vacate his belt should he fight Mayweather and not Kell Brook. So that's a good thing. But you know, this sucks for so many reasons. You know, people, you know, injuries happen, and that's a part of the sport. But people to fake injuries so that they can get a fight with Floyd, that sucks. And you know, nobody wants to see Devon Alexander fight Floyd. That's a total mismatch. You know, you know, as it is, Devon Alexander hasn't really done much. I mean, he knocked out Urango with an uppercut, but what else has he done? You know, you could say he beat Maidana. Yeah, he beat Maidana at welterweight. He didn't beat him at junior welterweight, Maidana's real, you know, weight class. And Maidana, a guy also that was exposed by Eric Morales. Eric Morales beat him and was robbed of a decision, you know, against Maidana. I thought Alexander lost against Kotelnik. I thought he lost against Lucas Matisse and was given a gift decision. So what really has he done, especially at welterweight, to merit a fight? You know, people could have been critical of the Ghost, but the Ghost had a debut fight at welterweight. Didn't look spectacular, but he still won the fight after a long layoff. Came back and beat the snots out of Berto. So if anybody deserved the fight at welterweight to fight Floyd, it would be Guerrero. You know, for the reasons that he earned that. You know, he earned good victories to fight Floyd at welterweight, and he's got also a good story, and he's also Mexican, which is going to help sell tickets to the fight and pay-per-views, because we all know Floyd original fan base won't show up and won't spend the money. You know, the people who've made him a multi-millionaire have been Mexicans and Hispanics who show up to his fights and order his pay-per-views. And if you don't believe me, just look at the 2 dates he chooses to fight: September 15th or 17th and May 4th or May 5th. You know, Cinco de Mayo and Mexican Independence Day. So that shuts up any of you. But you know, it's like even disgusting. You know, like you had the pack nuts, the pack-tards, you know, riding Manny hard, and now you have just as, you know, overzealous, just as fanatical. You have all these Mayweather fans who will justify anything that he ever does. You know, this fight is complete bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Fight Hype, who is a pro Mayweather website, put out an article, I think like last week or 2 weeks ago, saying that, Canelo wasn't worthy. He hasn't done enough to merit a fight against Floyd. But Devon Alexander has. He poses a bigger threat, a better chance of beating Floyd. Come on, man. Like Floyd leaked that shit to Ben, the website owner, and Ben didn't write the article. Wallace, whatever his name is, wrote it, but it sounds like complete bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was just a setup. They knew that he wasn't gonna fight Canelo, and they were just trying to justify a cherry pick fight. They have, I think Canelo's team said that they wouldn't fight on Floyd's undercard unless he was promised a September fight against Floyd. I still doubt that Floyd will fight him in September, but if not, if it is true, then Floyd will go on to fight Canelo. But still, I can't justify him fighting Devon Alexander. That'll be the first Mayweather fight I'm gonna stream. I'm not paying for that shit, and I won't tell anybody that I know to pay for it either. So it's disgusting. I mean, at this point, the only fight left for Floyd is Canelo, and after that, he should just retire. People. Some of you are gonna blast me for this video, you Mayweather fanatics, but you're a bunch of hypocrites. We criticize the shit out of Manny for some of the things he did, and Floyd's doing the same thing. And you're not criticizing him, you're actually justifying his bullshit. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Just the same way where before Floyd accused Manny without any proof. Well, there's a supposed accusation that Floyd failed 3 drug tests with USADA, and it was covered up. And some of you say, oh, well, you can't prove that and that, but you're the same hypocrites that were saying that Manny was possibly juicing. So, if you're gonna bash one guy for one thing, you gotta bash your guy too, even if you're a fucking fan of his. So again, boxing's becoming a joke. As more and more time goes on, I'm caring less and less for it. It's unfortunate, but it's true. So we'll see how this whole shit unravels and how the rest of the year pans out. It's fucked up because the networks are paying Al Heyman fighters huge sums of money. Not for nothing, I don't knock Danny for getting 1.5 against Zab, but the bad thing for that is that the networks overpay for these Al Heyman fighters, and then the networks have no money left towards the end of the year, so that they can't purchase any more fights, and then we're stuck without fights to watch. And while that's good for the fighters and for the managers, that's not good for us, the fans. And we as the fans, we shouldn't give a shit about pay-per-view numbers, and we shouldn't give a shit about how much fighters are making. That doesn't affect me any. That doesn't put more food on my table, or it doesn't do anything else. To me, it's entertainment value, and we're getting robbed of that. So leave me your comments and tell me what you think. Follow me on Twitter at YDKSAB. And follow me on Facebook at Boxing Freaks. And, let me know what you think. Peace.